the liability. We've paid that liability off of 280, so it is a liability, so this represents a loss. If it's an exchange loss, then we add it back. If it's an exchange loss, then we have a foreign exchange loss at the individual company stage, and that foreign exchange loss is added back as part of your reconciliation. I hope you left enough space. I think that was quite challenging, but actually it's okay. Investing activities, eventually got my PPE. Dividends from the associate, I think that's going to be hard. Come back to that later. Financing activities, let's have a look what's happening on the shares. Have we issued any shares? Is there any proceeds of any share issue? Yeah, proceeds of a share issue. Do we have any money coming in, yes or no? Where are you looking? Because I can't see any notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no story about an issue of shares. What there is, though, is a SOSI. Opening, closing. Now, to me, there is no reference to these being a share for share or a convertible loan. So I have to assume that the reason I've issued the shares is that I have received cash. I think the reason I have received, the reason I've issued the shares is to get cash. If it's a convertible loan, there would be a story. If there's a share for share exchange, there will be a story. There's no story, so I must have issued the shares for cash. If it's a bonus issue, there has to be a story. So 55. Dividends. Dividends paid. Dividends paid, where would they be? They would not be a P&L expense. They're not in the... Where would they be? SOSI. Can you see a figure of dividend paid in the SOSI? Yes, I can see a figure of 9. Thank you very much. It's not over yet. Not only do we pay a dividend to our shareholders, but the subsidiary pays a dividend, some of which goes to the NCI. Now, when I was teaching you cash flow, I made you work out the NCI figure, but here it's just given to you, isn't it? Say thank you. How much is the dividend paid to the NCI? 5. Financing activities is debt and equity. That's your equity. Do we have any debt? Don't know. Do we have any debt? Do we have any borrowing? There's not a story about debt, is there? Note number 1 is about financial assets. Note number 2 is about pensions. Note number 3 is about plant. Note number 4 is about the associate. Note number 5, there's not a story about debt. But what is there in the balance sheet? An opening debt of long-term borrowings. How much is that debt? 64. How much is it at the year end? So are we borrowing or repaying? And how much are we repaying? Thank you very much. If there was a story about an exchange difference on the debt, if there was a story about convertible loans, if there was a story about buying a sub with a debt, I'd look into it. But there isn't. Leave a space. How much is your opening cash and cash equivalent? We don't have an overdraft, do we? No. How much is your opening cash and cash equivalent? 323. And how much is your closing? 312. So this year, have you been a net spender or a net saver? We've been a net spender, haven't we? Mind you, that's okay. If you've got 300 in the bank, you can afford to spend 9. You know, I'm not going to be, we're not in a meltdown. So you can work out this number going that way, and the change in cash and cash equivalents is negative 11. It's 3:15. It's 3:15. I have finished the question. I have spent 45 minutes to date. Okay? When I say I finished the question, I haven't fully finished the question. But I've got to the end of the question, and I've spent 45 minutes on it. And I've missed out the tax, because I'm scared. I've missed out the associate. I've missed out the fair value through OCI. I've missed out things. I suppose I did fully engage with the exchange difference in the PPE. Let's have a look at the marking guide. Let's have a look at the marking guide. Let's see how many marks out of the marking guide we've already earned. Let's see. Let's mark our answer. Have we got loss before tax? Yes. Fair value through OCI investments? I haven't even read it. There are 4 marks waiting to be plucked. I haven't even dealt with that, so 0. So I've got no marks there. Have I dealt with the retirement benefit? Yes, I have. I've dealt with the retirement benefit. Have I dealt with the property, plant and equipment? Yes, I have, because there's been the depreciation, there's been the loss on the disposal, there's been the net figure of 2, there's been the acquisition of the sub, there's been the exchange difference. I have dealt with my PPE, I've got 6 marks out of that. The insurance proceeds, that was the figure of 2. I have dealt with the insurance business, I've dealt with that. Associate, I haven't read. Haven't read. 0. Goodwill and intangibles, yes. Finance costs, yes. Did I add back the finance cost? Yes. Did I deal with the interest paid? Yes. So 2 marks. Taxation, nothing. I haven't looked at it yet. Working capital, strictly speaking, I've only got 3 out of 4 between you and me. Proceeds of a share issue, yes. Repayment of the borrowings, yes. Dividends paid, yes. NCI, yes. So maybe it's easier for me to work out the marks I haven't got. 4, 4, 4, and 1. So I have got here 4, I've got here 13. The question is out of 35. So I've got 22 marks out of 35 in 45 minutes. So at the moment, yeah, my marking is effectively 22 out of 35. I have got here 63%. Yeah, 22 out of 35 is 63%. Ladies and gentlemen, if you came out of the exam with 63%, would you be happy? On an exam basis, we still have 15 minutes left. Now, maybe you thought I went a bit quick. And if you thought I was going a bit quick, well, you know, you've still got another 5 or 10 minutes to kind of catch up with me. Now, what I've left I think it's all the difficult stuff behind. Because I've got to the end of the question, and now I can go back. So anything that we do now is kind of a bonus. And maybe, just maybe, some of the difficult stuff that I've left behind maybe won't be that difficult. I don't know. There's only one way to find out. It's a cash flow, we can drop the number in, you know? And that's going to be nice. So, note number 1 on page 69. We hold financial assets classified as fair value through OCI. We have an opening balance, we have a sale carrying value, we have a revaluation gain, we have a sale proceeds of 45, we have a profit, shown in other income, we have a deferred tax, and we have a transfer of 24. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are 7 different numbers. Do any of those numbers represent a cash flow, yes or no? Are we buying or selling any investments? If we buy some investments, money goes out. If we sell some investments, money comes in. We sell. Now, what is the sale proceeds? Is it 38 or is it 45? 45, yes, thank you. Thank you. Investing activities, 45. Money comes in because you've sold something. Did we make a profit or loss on that disposal? And how much was that profit? 7. And where was that profit taken? Other income. Yeah. So, I don't know whether you're going to like this or not, but the other income of 29 includes a profit of 7, which isn't cash. So I've got to take off 7 because I've got to remove the gain on the fair value through OCI. That gain of 7 is 45 minus 38. So that becomes 22. There's a tax issue of 3, but I can't do any more. You can read it, you can puzzle about it, you can discuss it, you can analyse it. What's the cash flow? The cash is sale proceeds of 45. End of. But there is a profit on the disposal. The profit is 7. The profit is included in other income. So that other income isn't all cash. So we've only received 22 in cash. Bit messy. This is life. I've read number 1. I've now got another 4 marks in the bag. Well done me. There's another paragraph that we haven't read, which is to do with the associate. And there's the taxation charge. We haven't dealt with the taxation charge. Let's deal with the tax first. So we have a working for tax. And we want the taxation that we've paid. Now, if we're working out the taxation that we've paid, we need to know the liabilities for tax at the beginning of the year. So how much is our tax liability at the beginning of the year? That would be in current liabilities. I can't find current liabilities. Where is current liabilities? It's in the opening balance sheet, isn't it? So I've got opening liabilities of 42, which is my current liabilities. Leave a lot of space, but whilst my eyes are in the same place, there's a closing balance of current liabilities of 35. Two minutes. 2 minutes. Maybe you could have a little play. 2 minutes. Maybe you could have a little read. 2 minutes. Maybe you could have a little book. This is worth how many marks? 4. So, you know, there's going to be a trick in it. But